This is
A Cup of Conversations.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Jax.
And I'm Amber.
And we would like to welcome you to another episode of A Cup of Conversations with two people who enjoy talking, just do stuff. They just like to talk about stuff, man. Okay? We pull conversations out cups and stuff, and we just talk about it. If you have any ideas or any topics or subjects you'd like us to cover, please leave it in the description box below. Please leave it in the comment box below. Please leave it in the comment box below. All right, let's get into it. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, fantastic.
What
Just been here.
Chilling like a villain.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
So today's topic is, you ready for this? Message. Yeah, you've got mail.
I said you got a message.
Message. We're going to talk about messages, you know?
You remember that ringtone?
Yeah. They're all around us. They're everywhere we are.
We
just have to be tuned into it. You know, we just have to pay attention.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, I have a message story to share.
Share your message story. What's your
testimony? Testimony finger up. So this morning, 4:00 in the morning, don't ask why I was up, but I was up. It was literally around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was playing a trivia game on my phone, you know, and the more questions you get correct, you have a opportunity to win bonus coins, right? So they give you cards face down. You can't see the other side of the card. You have to pick the card. The cards are multipliers, so it may be 4 times, 3 times, 5 times, you know, whatever, 6 times, 7 times, whatever. So I was picking my cards, and I think I thought a bit too hard about which cards to pick. I would look at a card and say, oh, I'm going to pick the first one. And I say, no, but what if it's not in the first one? Let me pick the second one. It's probably in the second one. And I picked the second one, and I got the lowest multiplier. I got 2 times. And then it shows you all the cards, right? So then I look at the one that I was going to pick initially, and it was 4 times multiplier. And I was like, man, I could have had 4 if I just would have
went
with my first mind, if I just would have stuck with it. And I did it again, and I kept doing it. I kept second guessing myself. I kept changing my mind. I kept going against what I was feeling and going with my second choice. And my second choice was failing me every time if I just would have stuck with my first choice, I would have got the biggest multiplier every single time. So in that, I was like, maybe this is a message for me. You know? Hey, don't doubt yourself. Stick with your decision. Your decision is your decision. You chose it for a reason in the beginning. Anyways, like whatever reason you chose that choice, you chose it for a reason. Like, you know, sometimes we have this way of like talking ourselves out of things. Thinking ourselves out of things. We do. And then we back out and we're like, no, never mind. I ain't gonna do that. Well, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna pick that. I ain't gonna buy that. Like, no, don't do it. And then dang, I should have bought that. I should have did that. So that was my message today through the cards. So then I was like, you know, I'm going to try this. I wasn't done because I caught the message and I was going to test the message. And I said, I'm going to try this. The first card that I feel to flip over, that's the card I'm going to choose. I'm not going to second guess myself. So I chose the first card, and guess what? I said, guess what?
What?
It was a 5-time multiplier.
Shut up.
One of the biggest multipliers I could have got. I was like, no, I'm tripping. Okay, let's do it again. Pick a card. Guess what it was?
The highest multiplier.
The 7-time multiplier. That's the highest multiplier I could have got. I said, man, I'm going with my first mind. I'm making a decision, and I'm sticking to it, right? And I'm getting the results. So then I started to expect that on the other side, right? I was like, oh, this is the card I want, and I know when I get it, it's going to be one of the bigger multipliers. And I click it, and it's a 4-time multiplier. And I was like, okay, they still on my side. Right, but then I was into the game, and you know,
uncomfortable.
I don't know, the trivia questions threw me off, and by the time I got to choose my multiplier, I was like, I chose the card I wanted, but something in my mind said, but what if that ain't the card? Right? What if that ain't the biggest multiplier? And when I clicked it, it was a 2-time multiplier. And I said,
You sound over the 2.
I am. It's the lowest multiplier. So I said, I said, oh, I stuck with my decision, but I didn't believe what was on the other side of the door, right? I chose the card that I wanted initially. I stuck with it, but I didn't have faith in what was on the other side of the door. And therefore, what was on the other side of the door was something that I didn't want for myself. It was exactly what I thought it was, because I thought it was that. See, the power in the mind, right? If you go back to the power of your mind, the power is in your mind. I didn't believe in it, and it wasn't there. But when I was believing in it, it came every single time. Like, we have the power, you know? So that was my message this morning in the bottle. I heed it, I take it, I believe it, I breathe it, I accept it.
It's just a game, but like, I really think that life sometimes speaks to us that way. It's so small, and it's just, I just want to get more points on this game.
A game that has nothing to do with anything,
but
right?
But it's still so profound,
right?
Like, even, do you remember how I was saying sometimes I think of something to do, and then I'll say, I'm gonna do that, and then it never happens because I think for the next 20 minutes, then it becomes an hour, and then I just didn't do it.
Right.
But if I follow, and then the next thing is that sometimes I see literally that somebody else doing almost exactly what popped into my head to do. And then it's like, I don't even want to use the word successful, but it's just, cool to see that, like, wow. And then I'm like, that's literally what I was thinking. And if I had followed my first mind, then maybe that could be me too.
If you just went with the first card.
And it's similar how they say, like, people, you'll see people doing things that you want to do, but the difference is they believe in themselves.
Yeah, that's true. They do. They say that a lot.
And it's like you were saying, the belief is such an important thing. Like, sometimes you really have something in your mind, like you have a vision. Just the other day, I was watching, I cannot remember this boy's name. I want to say his name is Tariq. I don't really watch him all the time, but I came across his page, and it was just him out in some Vermont or something. But either way, I love reading comments. So I'm in the comments, and this girl was like, oh, this is how I really want to live. I want to live like this, but every time I tell somebody, they look at me like I'm crazy. And I responded to her, and I was like, but you have the vision, though. And there's a reason why you have the vision. They don't get it. They're not going to understand it. Right. But it's the reason why you had the vision. And I wrote to her, I said, people thought Noah was crazy when he was building that ark. But then the floods came. And then I put the emoji with the hands up, like, what?
So she went wrong when she was telling people and was waiting on confirmation from the people. That's what she was telling people. Sometimes you can't. Just do. You don't even talk about it.
Just have it in your mind and just do it.
Somebody else might, like you said, she had the vision. The other people don't have the vision.
It's a reason why
Noah had the vision. They didn't.
Right.
Man, he was the only one that survived. He and his family. I mean, dang, that was a big vision, though. I don't know. I might have had to stood next to Noah, because if he out here building this big ass boat in a time where none of this existed, I don't know. He would have been just the right amount of crazy to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he had the vision. No one else had the vision. That girl you was just talking about. She said and then how she said it, but every time I tell people, how many visions has she already had when she done told somebody, and now she allowed them to impact her vision or deter her path or change her direction or something. That's what's wrong. You can't tell everybody. Can't tell. Yeah.
And literally too, I was watching Here's the Thing, Kevin on Stage podcast with that chick Angel, and they he was talking about, he's always trying to encourage her to do stuff, whatever. But he posted this video the other day. I promise you, it was so dumb. He was in an Incredibles uniform. And it was
I saw him. I saw that. I saw him. He's so stupid.
Bruh. But he was like, people think that he sits and really thinks about stuff. He was like, most of the time when I post stuff, it's just, I see something, I think it, and I just do it. And then Angel was like, I be thinking stuff too, but I don't do it. And he was like, I'm telling you, like, the things that he's like, I never know what's going to happen, but I also don't sit there and analyze it to the point where I don't. He's like, I just think it and do it. He didn't know, you know.
Yeah, he just do it right.
But that literally is probably one of the funniest things I've seen him do. Like
stupid.
the walk on the beat. But anyway, but the fact of the matter was just like, if you see it, like in my mind, and I'm trying to get this to myself for real. Like in my mind, literally, if you can envision it with your inside brain, inside your head. That means it is there and it's for you and it's possible.
And it's possible. That's it. It's possible. Mm-hmm.
And then when you talk about, you know, getting the message back, it's like, okay, you have this in your head and you're like, all right, I want to do this. But like that girl, you know, you can't walk around here telling everybody. Sometimes you can't because everybody is not on that
same wavelength. And
everything ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to understand that because you have people that you want to support you. You have people that you want to say, they look at you and say, oh yeah, they validate you. But you have to validate you. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that, hey, if I'm seeing it, there's a reason why this is pulling me, why this is drawing me this way. There's not, bro, we don't understand the full of the world. We don't understand it. Mm-hmm. There's reasons why we get pulled. There's reasons why certain people draw. There's reasons why certain people sing. There's reasons why certain people act. There's a reason why certain people dance. There's different reasons. We all have to come together. Everybody can't do the same thing all the time, you know? But like, it's just follow the pull. And like the universe, life, God, whatever you want to call it, like it speaks back to you. It speaks back to you. And like when I was telling you about the synchronicities and stuff, mm-hmm. and like I'll be thinking something, or I'll listen to a song, or I'll whatever, and then I'll literally hear it within the next day. Remember when I told you about when I read the Bible about the man borrowing money, your neighbor?
The talents?
No, the man borrowing money.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day, I literally had just read it.
Well, which Bible verse was it that you read?
I want to say it's somewhere in Luke.
Okay, aside from that, what was the verse about again?
So the verse
let the people
essentially said, mm-hmm. don't let your neighbor come and ask you for something
and say you ain't got it.
You say, oh, come back and get it later. And
when you can have it right now. Yes, girl, yes.
And literally, this man, the neighbor, comes to me and he asking me for $5 under some real weird conditions.
Brand new neighbor.
And I'm like,
don't even know this guy.
Don't even know if I ever spoke to you before.
Never saw you really.
Why would you think that I have $5? I'm black. But no, I have $5. Like, what? We never spoke. We not cool. Like, I don't just walk around asking people for their money like that. But I was like, oh my God, like, I had to give it to him.
And you literally had a $5 bill. You literally had a $5 bill.
No, I didn't.
Oh, he had to give you change.
He said he's going to give back the money, and I dug in my little piggy bank because I don't have cash, and I gave him the $4 and 4 quarters. And I was like, this is all I got. He was like, oh, thank you so much. When my friend comes back, I'll give you the money. And I was like, I don't know if he really going to give me this money back. I don't even really know you. Like, I don't know you. But he came back and gave it to me. And I was just like...
Like, within, like, minutes. It wasn't even that long.
I was just
he came back.
What? It's like, it'd be like, what? Like, I literally just read this. And then, boom. And then, furthermore, you know how the, King James Version is kind of written Old English. I didn't really know that I understood it, so I kind of Googled, like, I read through what's the new NIV?
The new inner something version, the
like
international version, the new
international version. I think that's how I go. Mm-hmm. And so like it gave it to me like in English. I was like,
today's English.
I was like, oh, that's what that means. And I was like, that's crazy because really, like I just read that, and so these are like the messages that, and if I'm not paying attention, I could have missed that. Mm-hmm. I could have missed that and just been like, oh, this man just asked me I ain't giving him money. I don't want a man like that. But I knowing that I literally had just read that could have just meant that I was meant to give him that money so he can get that man out of here with the table.
And you got it right back.
Just that simple.
Like literally got it right back. It wasn't that long. Okay, my literally this time is correct. Like you did literally get it right back. It really did not take him long to bring that money back.
Right. And then sometimes I think too, like, it's also like a confirmation. If you're paying attention, it's confirmation for me sometimes that wherever I'm operating at, whatever type of mindset I'm trying to put myself in, like life is telling me, yes, follow that. Like
it's like the universe is reaffirming.
Yes.
Like what you're putting out, you're putting your energies in it, like, and even the vision and stuff that you have, like you're putting all that out, and that's like the universe way of like reaffirming that, hey, you said this is what you want. Look, I'm setting you up for it, or I hear you. Here it is.
Even preparing your foundation.
We're trying to get you started. I'm setting you up. Yeah,
right.
That first. It's like that, like.
And even like the same thing with that book, the Big Leap. That's what he would consider like when you get to that point where it's like, okay, I'm trusting this, but then you come to that point of hesitation, like, oh, that would be like your upper limit problem. That would be like, okay, you've reached your limit of what you're allowing yourself to feel good about.
So that would be equivalent to me
hesitating,
being like, okay, I chose this car and I'm confident in this car, but what if that ain't the car?
That part.
Right?
That would be that.
That's your upper limit.
That would be like you like
problem.
Yeah, because imagine the amount of like, not I don't even say power, but like imagine the amount of good. Just say good that you would feel to know that you make decisions, and when you trust your decisions, you know that they're going to benefit you.
Right. Like how whatever the outcome is.
Yeah.
You know that it's going to be beneficial to you in some kind of way.
But you know without a shadow of a doubt. That would feel awesome.
It does feel awesome.
So when you think about what they consider the upper limit problem, it says, okay, I've reached my max capacity of feeling good. I've reached that greatness. Oh, no. Now I'm like, oh crap, let me sabotage. And then it's, back down to what feels comfortable. Because we're not trained to think that, hey, you know how to make good choices. If something supposedly, quote unquote, goes, quote unquote, wrong, it's automatically, I did something wrong. I made a wrong choice. It didn't turn out
like a negative.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you were working in that place where it was like, whatever I do, man, look, I'm gonna make a choice off my instincts for real. I'm gonna trust that instinctual pull, and I'm just gonna go with it, and I know it's gonna benefit me, whatever.
And you'll see.
And you really just run on that. You just be like, what?
You'll see that whatever goes wrong is actually right, but you also won't even see things as being wrong.
That's the part.
You just won't see things. There's no part of you that acknowledge that, hey, that was wrong or that turned out bad. Like, you won't see it that way.
Right.
It won't be in your thought process. It just won't be there. It won't be there. Like, because all right, well, that happened. Okay, next. And that was the result, and okay, next, like that, like you won't see it as a negative. I feel like we talked about in one of the other episodes, like our minds are programmed and trained to see negativity. It's just so much of it around us and in the world, so it's easier to do that.
And also too, like Melissa was talking about when she said like we're based on survival, like at a basic level, we're primates that want to survive. And so when we see negative, that sort of prepares us for, what can I do? How can I avert or avoid that thing from happening to me, because I don't want to feel that it's a negative thing, So I think that's also kind of why we sort of run to that, even if just mentally.
Right.
Because we're really trying to avoid it. But in trying to avoid it, we're creating it.
And more of it.
Creating it.
And more of it. Like, do you know what life could be if you just really wrote the correct or the right wavelengths for you? Like, if you wrote the right wave, the frequencies, if you were on the right frequencies, if you turned your dial to tune into the right frequencies, like, you get so much more out of life. And you see that a lot of it don't have to do with this world. Well, at least that's how I see it. Yeah. I mean, like the physicalities of the world. Like, a lot of people's goal is to obtain money and cars and power over people. But we're all individuals, and our souls are aligned to something. I feel like our souls are aligned to something, and like how we talk, how people talk about finding your purpose and things like that. why are you here? What's your purpose? Like, it's aligned with something. I feel like it's like way bigger than like just the material things, just the worldly things, the things that the world deems important and necessary for you to, you know, you have to be a certain caliber of something to be considered like important or valuable, or they make it so that you seek value from other things instead of like really looking into yourself and your soul and your alignment, you know. And I feel like that is actually more powerful than what it seems this world has set up to be, like that, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, that's what I was saying when I was like, we don't understand the like the real fullness of the world because we don't know what we're really, sometimes we don't know what we're here for. But there's a reason that we feel those pulls, you know?
Right.
And those pulls help us to align with whatever the bigger purpose is how I feel. So, yeah, that's like the same thing. So, I just know, like, it's not, it's interesting. Like, if you're really paying attention, like you said, or like the wavelength, being on a specific wavelength, and being able to really pick up catch the message, like hear the message, see the message, feel the message, because life really be like, hey, I'm calling you.
It really do. Like,
hey, I'm calling you.
And you know what I realized too? Like how we saying, like it'd be out, like it's out there, it's there, the messages are there. Like I realized like that they've always been there. You know, because when I look back from whence I came, you know what I mean? When I look back though in my life, it's just so many times, so many places, so many, you know, that I revisit, and it's like, oh, I can see the message now. I can see how, oh, that's why that happened at that time, at that place, because of this reason. It's crazy. Not crazy in a crazy way, but crazy in a
interesting
I feel you type way. Right, like that. So yeah, we have to pay attention. Keep your eyes, your ears, your mind, your body, your spirits open.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Hey, if you wanna be somebody,
come on.
If you wanna go somewhere,
go.
You better wake up and pay attention.
For real though. For real. See, there was a message in that song, in that movie. Y'all went in tune to that message. Y'all ain't get that message. You know, they really be saying, no, you really gotta wake up. Be conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Be aware.
Be aware. Pay attention to yourself.
Looking around.
Yeah.
Looking inside.
Inside.
You know?
And not looking outside for validation for what you feel and know inside.
You already validated because you just exist.
Hallelujah.
Just your existence is validation enough.
Hallelujah.
You're here.
Glory.
You think you're here for fun? You're here.
You're here. You made it. What the man said. We just talked about this on the other
All
podcast. Yeah, you made it. You know how fast you had to swim?
Be out here.
Bro.
Usain Bolton out there.
Bro, you did that. You did.
I just turned into somebody from Atlanta.
You did that.
Out there. Usain Bolton out there.
Hey.
But yeah.
So thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you got the message in our message. Hope you got the message in our message, and we'll see you again next week for another episode of Cup Conversations. And again, if you have any input, any topics, thank you. Ooh, that word was far away from my brain. Any topics that you like to talk about or hear us talk about? Oh, hey, you guys can share stuff too.
Yeah, tell us any messages that you've been catching, because like I know it's not just us. Like there's plenty of people out here that be catching these messages, and when you share your message, it affirms other people. Like, oh, see, I'm be getting that message. Oh, my message came like this though. Like it, you know. So we need to build that, share that. Let's do that.
All right, y'all.
Holla.